Cool.
So, what he mentions, a
Yes, sir.
certain Thierry Henry uh,
Mm-hmm.
made an appearance on the overlap, which I believe is
Mm-hmm.
like the combination of the uh, righty, Ian Wright, and I always forget this guy's name, the captain of
Roy
Man U,
Keane.
and Roy Keane, yeah. And
Roy
then
Keane.
on the other side, you have the
Amy
two,
Carragher.
yeah,
Carragher and Neville and
and
Gary Neville.
Gary Neville. So I think they have individual, podcast, and then sometimes they do stuff together. But anyway,
Yeah.
so I watched the whole thing. Actually, it was really good, right? Henry is a thoughtful, extremely smart commentator and thinker of the game. So they asked him how Arteta was doing, and he pretty much, paraphrasing said, it's time to win trophies, right? But again, Henry's a fan, right? He was speaking like a fan, right? So he said, it's time to win trophies. Man U has been in 5 finals and won 2 in the last however many years that they've not been good at all. So I think it's talking about that whole, championship mentality, So just in general, what's your take, Yinka? Henry out of line, makes sense, don't make sense. What?
Yeah. So Henri said a lot of great things in that episode. If you've not watched it,
Yeah.
guys, go watch it. It was nice. Except for this particular point, which I kind
Mm,
of felt like you should know better, right? And not the whole thing. It was one particular thing he said. It was like, even Man U, the Man U that you guys are mocking, they've been to 5 finals. And I'm like, is it now about going to finals
mm,
that is the yardstick for measuring success? Yeah. Um, I would have thought that is not that is not what it doesn't really matter, right? The objective, and I say this, I've said this, but I'll keep saying it again. The objective is you need to compete for the things that matter. I don't want to
mm.
compete for things that don't matter, right? Just for competing sake, right? And you remember when someone shared the video, I think it was you on the group, I said,
Yeah.
let's just be careful here, right? Whenever it comes to Henri and Arteta, I personally believe there is a hint of jealousy here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever Henri says, Henri's dream job is he wants to manage Arsenal, right?
You said so.
He
Yeah.
doesn't even need to say it. We all know, yeah. So he struggles to give. He struggles to see. Let me say, maybe struggle is not the proper word, but at times he chooses not to see the good side or whatever is happening within the coaching scene at Arsenal, right? We've seen it before Arteta, so this is not an Arteta thing. We've seen it with Emery, yeah, even before this Arteta incident, yeah. So I just thought that that particular comment was a bit out of line and unnecessary, and you're fueling the fire of the opposing fans, right? And some crazy Arsenal fans that all they care about is they want your team to just be in the final, even if it is
Yeah.
Conference League, even if it is Carabao Cup. That's not. We say we want standards. Standards, in my opinion, is we're competing for EPL, we're competing for Champions League. I don't care about any other thing. FA Cup, we've won FA Cup 13 or 14 times.
More than anyone
There's no
else.
more than anyone else. Thank you. More than anyone else. So it is not, that's not your priority. It should not be your priority. Carabao Cup is a team fault cup. It is as irrelevant as the Community Shield. Yeah? So if your club is competing for the EPL and the Champions League, I believe that is what I want, right? And it's not anybody's birthright to win anything. Yeah. It took City how many years before they won one, despite all the money they spent? It took PSG how long, despite all the money they spent? You see what I'm saying? So this mentality of get to finals, get to finals and do what? Yeah. And I kind of believe Henri was a bit whatever about that, because if you ask him what has he won, he will also say, I got into an Olympic final. That's the only thing he has to show for it. So you believe, you get what I'm trying to say? He's trying to say, okay, oh, getting to the final is okay, but you don't necessarily. No, 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 no. That's not how it works, man. That's not how it works. So I thought those comments
Okay.
were out of pocket. Out of pocket, not necessarily. You didn't necessarily have to say it. But I love this Jackson 5 analogy about when he
Yeah,
was at back and stuff.
that was good.
It's a good episode. Y'all should check it
Yeah,
out.
this
I
smart
love
guy. Is a
the smart guy. But
Yeah,
that
it's a,
was
it's
that
a
was
very
out of
smart
pocket.
guy. Yeah, I'll leave it exactly where you left it. Nothing more to add. It
Mm.
is what it is. We move. I've already trashed this thing to death. I have. I'm not. I'm not gonna be like, oh, I have 1,000,000% faith in any human. But I respect work. Arteta is a worker. Um, I don't blame him for deficiencies in recruiting because we've seen this before him. This is what
Mm.
Arsenal does. This
Yeah.
goes to the owners. This goes to the Crunkies. This is what they do. So for me, there's very few coaches in world football that are improving players on the pitch more than
Yeah.
Arteta. Now, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. He gets in his own way. He overthinks things, but so does Simeone. So does
So
Pep.
does everyone.
So does everyone, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it doesn't see the good in players. That is obvious to everybody, right? But for
Mm-hmm.
me, the answer is not just get me anybody, just buy any mediocre player. Just do no. That is not the answer. That is not the answer.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
Yinka, I know this is not part of the question, but again, I will continue to be the lone voice screaming like a madman in the wilderness, saying, I do not believe in this Arsenal need a striker thing. I do not believe in it. Objectively, it's not accurate. Objectively, it's not accurate. I posted something in the group that our Man U friends were like, haha, cuckoo, haha, in over. And it's the season before Holland came to City,
Yeah.
and the season, his first season at City. The
Mm.
season before with an aging, what was his name? Aging
Mm.
Kun Aguero, right?
Mm-hmm.
They scored, what was it, over 100 goals.
Yeah.
They won the league. The season Holland got there, they won the league, but they scored way fewer goals. But he
But
scored
Haaland,
half of what they
he
scored.
scored half of what they scored. Exactly.
You know what I mean? So for
Yeah.
me, I would love, just because I love to watch strikers. If you give me any great striker, I would love it.
Mm-hmm.
But Arsenal can win the title without a striker. Bukayo Saka needs to get better. He was on his way. He still finished as Arsenal's G+A leader in the league this season,
Yeah.
even though he was out for however
Mm-hmm.
many. So he was on track to break Henry's 20 assists record. That's what Arsenal needs to do. And even those who want to improve the left side of Arsenal's attack, have they seen
Mm-hmm.
the goals and assists of Nico Williams? Aren't they less than Martinelli's? In a league that Yinka Yusuf thinks is inferior? And he's not young. He's not Lamine Yamal. He's 5 years older than Lamine Yamal. He's the same age as Martinelli. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
Bobby Perez is not walking through that door.
Akin, you're preaching to the choir, right?
I know.
That's all I'm gonna tell you, right?
I know.
It's the style of play. People come to the Emirates, they lock up, right?
Yeah.
Come to the Emirates, you lock up. You need to unlock them. What you need to look out for is, if Saka is injured, proper deputy for Saka. If
Yeah.
Martinelli is injured, proper deputy for Martinelli. I've told you this. Arsenal's strength, Arsenal's success or failure is dependent on the success or the failure of their wingers, right? Because every time you reprocess the ball, it ends up at either Saka's foot or Martinelli's foot. Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's the way we play. Unless you're saying get rid of the coach, let's get a new style of play. If that's what y'all want, I don't have a problem with that. Arteta is not my brother. We're not
Yeah,
related. I don't have a problem with that, right? I want Arsenal Football Club to succeed. But if we're keeping the coach with this current style of play, which we have seen, maybe not consistently enough, but I think we've seen that we can be. I mean, you've been second twice, so you're not that far off. You get what I mean? So just
three
get
times.
better with maybe second three times now, yeah. So you're not that far off, right? All you just need to do is get a bigger, better squad. Simple.